Now we have seen that. So here's a continuous CI/CD tool is Jenkins. Then we have the next category. So Artifactory tool is Nexus, then JFrog. Okay. Other ones. So these Nexus and JFrog are mostly used, but Nexus also has features. So we know we got to know that what is CI/CD. Now we will understand what is Artifactory and why we want to use in the why we use in our DevOps project. So on the internet, I got definition. So Artifactory contains the code and other information. Okay. So here, what is it saying? So every microservice has their repository, which is written in some language. Okay. Like we have seen that if you have the Amazon project, then we have the microservice like electronics, mobile, then clothing. Like they will return this microservice, and this will be written in different language, and they will integrate using the API. So I will tell you how it structure at the when we start the real-time scenario. So here, so is this electronics category will be written in some language. Okay, so let's understand Java. Okay, so what does the developer does? So they written code in Java for the requirement. They use it contains the code library. Then it is many things. Okay. So and versions. So they will maintain all these while writing the code. They will maintain all this. They will download. They will use actually. They will use to write the microservice for this electronics microservice. And after that, once they check in the code, we will build that, and every project has some has configuration file. Okay, or like Java, we have the POM protection. For Gradle, we have the some like Gradle configuration. Gradle.com. So they contains all the libraries, all we add here, and we build the project. Then it will create a jar. Okay, then jar will run, and this electronics microservice will run. So actually, it happens. Okay, so here you can see the diagram. Yes, like this, how actually works. Like we use for any project, we use API gateway, then it has database, then client, our end user. We access this Amazon from mobile, iOS, desktop, of this one. So they will write code for different environment. Then we have the microservice like product, like this one, user service, order service, product recommender service, which has a different language, database they will use. Okay, and they will call each other in the using the API, and it store this all API managed by the API gateway. This is a server of this, and they will use a language like this. They will use technologies like Spring Boot version 2.5, WebM CSS, and Netflix tool. So different version tools might be used. So this information are stored in their configuration file. If you are using the Java-based Java project, so they will use a Maven build tool. So in the build tool, if you take example, so all the configuration or project detail are stored in the pom.xml. And we can consider that now they have started the just Amazon project and they are going to release their app 0.1. We can see that your app is upgrading. So what happens? They will build the feature and they will deploy. Okay. And then next year they will sometime next year or after some time they will release with the 0.2 with the new feature. So what happens? Whatever they written in the code, so they have some libraries of the information and it has a different version information. Okay. And next they release 0.3. And what happened there in the real-time scenario? Suppose 0.1 is developed by the developer 1. Now he is resigned. Okay. Now here new developer came for this version. And he want to take reference. He want to deploy this, the product, the microservice will be same, but the version is changing. And that previous developer has used some versions of this one. And new developer came here and he want to take a reference of 1 or 2, anything what they use. So he has to check his code. So what happened? And 0.2 already is running on customer client side. And here what we have to do, whenever we changes the version in the real-time scenario, the company, the organization store all the previous code in somewhere. Okay, all the library what they use. So the new developer can take reference of 0.1. So how he is using, what version is using, libraries of this one. So here what happens? So always whatever we create all this project information, we stored in the somewhere that we call it as a Artifactory. We call it Artifactory. It contains all the code and the reference of the projects. Okay, all the configuration. And there we give the name like 0.1, like we will give the name this 0.1. Suppose there will be the jar. This will store somewhere in the center repository. Okay, these we call artifact stored in the somewhere. So the next version, if you want to take a reference, if you want to download, suppose they have launched 0.3, but after some time they realize that this version is not working. Users are facing while shopping on their site. So what they do, they roll back their microservice to their product to the 0.2. Okay, so that's why they will keep all the existing builds jar on the somewhere in the center repository. That we call it as a Artifactory. Okay, so just you understood this one. Now this is a real-time scenario. And let's see the definition. What is Artifactory? Then we will the repository to store somewhere. So means what here? Source repository is used for storing code and its version, while Artifactory is used for storing. Okay, repository. What is the use of repository? Repository is used to store the code. Okay, but Artifactory is used for storing the executable programs. Means here, I told you, like it will generate 0.1 jar. So here, while Artifactory is used for storing the executable programs that are outputs of those code like binaries, DLL, jar, warrior, depend upon the project language, exe file, MS, or this one. okay, are stored in the somewhere. This is not like that. The code will be deleted. The code also they will store somewhere. I mean, that's already we have the center repository, and this also stored somewhere. So now the reason why you want to place them separately in a repo, which is different from your code, could be many. So like right from the source access, hacking, threat, malicious code check, injection, or to simply have a separate avenue for the client who just need the binaries. Okay, so that's why we store in the separate Artifactory. And who is the Artifactory provider? Either Nexus, JFrog, or other also there. Okay, but mostly use these two only. Then next, the technology of SM could have dual itself for creating two kind of user. Okay, these two lines are important. Okay, next, start with the PPT. So yeah. So you got a concept of Artifactory, why we use, okay? One minute. So what is Artifactory in DevOps? In CI/CD process, when we build our project, we obtain Artifactory after a build. I mean, that is executable file. So further, in deployment phase, we deploy these Artifactory on our production or pre-production server. So if we assume that if we don't use Artifact, it will be really very difficult over time. So that's why artifacts are important to hold onto throughout the development process and also after that. Next, and then we will see the Nexus. Now, next, what is a Nexus Repository Manager? So, Nexus is a tool to manage the or to store the repository or to store the artifact. So, Artifact Repository is a location where you can store all artifacts which are needed for the project. Then, what is a Nexus Repository Manager? It allows developer to collect, retrieve, manage our artifact. Okay. Then basically Nexus Repository Manager help us to host our repository. Then we have the Maven Center repository. In that, we can use it to retrieve all the dependencies needed for a Maven build. So this is a artifact and Nexus Repository Manager. Now we will see next concept is how to install and configure Nexus Repository Manager on Ubuntu 22.04 LTS EC2. That we will cover. So here you can visit the official Nexus site. Always refer Nexus official site. Nexus Repository Manager. Here it is a product by the Sonatype organization that you can call. They have a different product. Like in the real-time scenario, we are using this one, container security, then code quality analysis, then repository manager. So they are the different product under this Sonatype brand. And here we will cover the repository, Nexus Repository Manager. Okay, this is a diagram. All the executable file are stored in the Nexus repository whenever we need. So we can deploy and we can retrieve all this one. Okay. So before installing, let's check the system requirement. And download Nexus. Here we have the downloadable version. Then we will see the system requirement. Here is the official site. So here we have seen that latest version is 3. Then system requirement. For Linux, these are the some configuration file like SonarQube. We have to add the number of open files. Then to create a system disk service, they have shared this code, this file for macOS or this one. And we need these are the above is a system requirement, that system level configuration. After that, we need a Java. Java requires 8, means Java 8 required. Then CPU, we need a minimum CPU 4, recommended is 8. Okay, then we need a memory. Then we have to increase Java JVM heap memory. Then memory requirement they have given, all this one. So as per the requirement, they also that memory configuration, their internal system level configuration also they have shared. Okay. So all these commands and the prerequisite I have with me. So prerequisite OpenJDK 8, minimum CPU 4, Ubuntu server with sudo privilege, set user limit, web browser. Then Nexus default port number is 8081. Jenkins is 8080. SonarQube is 9000. So these are the some default they have. We have the some ports for our tools. Okay. So here I have logged into the AWS. Let's create AWS EC2 instance. So here I am on EC2 dashboard. Click on launch instance. Here we will search Ubuntu. Ubuntu server 22. Then we need a minimum. Okay, here we'll select the minimum 2 CPU and 4 RAM. P2 medium. Then configuration details. I will keeping the same configuration. Then add storage. Then we will add the 20 GB storage. Then you click on next add tag. Then configure security group. Select the security group. Let's select the existing security group. Then review and launch. Then click on launch. Select the key pair. Already I have this key pair. Acknowledge it and click on launch instance. Then click on view instance. There we will label it, tag it, Nexus. Let's connect to this instance. Default username is Ubuntu. Let's increase the font size of putty. Click on appearance, font, and size. Okay. Okay, so we have connected to the Ubuntu EC2 instance. To check version, command is cat etc os-release. Here we can see your OS version. So remember this command to check the version of your Linux OS. So command is same for any Debian based OS, Linux OS. So here I have the instruction to install Nexus Repository Manager on Ubuntu 22 EC2 instance. So first here, as per the requirement, we have to install Java 8 or higher version. So let's install Java OpenJDK 8 on Ubuntu 22. Okay, so before that, let's update system packages sudo sdt update. Let's run again that Java installation command. Java 8 is installation. I open JDK. Java is installed. To check Java version, command is java-version. Here we can see the 1.8. It just works. Then here we have to download the latest Nexus repository. And this is there. Let's download the latest from their official site. So here we have the download page. Let's download it, Unis archive. Here we have to copy, right click, copy link. And here we will save here. Okay, so the version is 3.4. Okay, so let's go to the OPT directory. Then download the Nexus setup. Command is sudo wget that link. So it is downloading. Okay, it's downloaded. Next command, we have to extract this Nexus setup. Command is *-zxvf. So this, what is this one? You can search on internet. X means extract, V means verbose, F means forcefully. But that is meaning. You can search. Jhadchi means tell that tar command that you want to extract file from an archive. Okay. So this is a command. Here Z means unzip, X means extract file from archive, V means print the file name or broadly, F means following argument is a file name. Okay. Next, let's extract this one. Command star hyphen those option. Then our setup is Nexus. So it is extracting. Okay. Something issue is there. What is saying? Let's say check the file size. Let's use a sudo command, sudo tar hyphen xvf, then setup. Okay, so it's extracted. Okay, we got this folder. Here I will update command. Here you can use sudo. Copy this command straight here. So now we will, like a sonar cube, we will move this into the OPT Nexus directory. Okay. So command sudo mv, then next, then where we want to move OPT Nexus. Okay, here we can do Nexus, and here we have all the configuration file or setup file. Then next we have to create a user Nexus to access this for this Nexus setup. We will run this one. Okay, and we will add this user for the root permission. We will add in the vsudo. Okay, vsudo is a file. Okay, sorry, we have to set up with password. We will keep default value.
Does it have a password? What kind of password is that?
No, I have set here you can see the password update successfully.
Yeah, what was the password?
Password I set admin.
Sorry?
Admin.
Okay, please put it in the
this password. You can give any password.
Okay.
Next, we will add this user into the vsudo to give the root permission. Here we can take entry. Permission allow members. Okay, allow user privilege. Here we will add. Group user. And next, we will give this this directory to this user and group ch1 using ch1 command. Same to this OPT Nexus and same for this Sona type work to directory. And after that, here OPT Nexus, there is a nexus.rc file. There we have to add run as a Nexus user. Like same setup is like a SonarQube. How we do? Here we will add the user Nexus. Then to increase some Java heap configuration, this is default one. We can add here. Here we can do. Let me search article. So I have written this article. Let me check, cross check if I have added. Okay, here we have to add this JVM option that which is mentioned in the on the official site. Here we have this file. Okay, this configuration we will add this one. So this is a custom configuration for JVM heap sites. I am adding here. We'll comment here. And let's save this file. And after that, we will create a systemd service to run from the systemctl. Here mention OPT Nexus B Nexus start stop. Okay, the limit of file they have added. Let's save this. Then we will start Nexus. Then we will check whether it is running or not. Nexus is running. To check log Nexus log, we can command. Okay, Okay, so next service is running. Go to the browser, copy this IP. Port number is 8081. Okay, Nexus is starting. And here we have the option, sign in. Here we have given the, okay, that user, we have given the password. And here we have the default for browser. We have the default password we can see, like Jenkins, we can see password from here. Password.
Sudo, right?
No, copy. Let's see. Nexus. Nexus 3, then admin password. Okay, this is a password. Fill fund. Then paste here. Sign in. And here it is saying to click next. Next, we'll click next. Here asking to change password. I'm keeping the password same, admin. Okay, but in the real-time scenario, we should use complex password. Then here asking for anonymous access. Disable anonymous access. Then click on next. Finish. Then here you can see that we are logged into the Nexus Repository Manager.